Hi everyone, it's JoJo from Mojo Jojo Plans, and today we're going to be talking about how you go about dating an undated planner. Now I know it's a little late, we're already into the new year, you might have already started an undated planner, but hopefully this will help make a little bit more, make it make a little bit more sense, a little bit easier. And it's not really something I thought about until somebody asked me how you go about dating an undated planner over on my Instagram. And then I was like, oh, it should be easy. And then I'm thinking like, oh yeah, an undated planner has an extra week in it. And not every single month is going to have 5 weeks. So I really was like, oh, that's a good point. I never really thought of that. So I'm going to be showing a few examples and the reasoning why. And hopefully this will make it a little bit easier when you're dating an undated planner for this year. So I have my planner here because I wanted to just be able to show you something that was dated, just so we could understand a little bit better. So we have our month at a glance. The undated planner is going to come with that. You have to date it yourself, yada, yada. Now, here we go. So in January was so nice to us because it started on a Monday with the 1st, which just made it so much easier. So automatically we know we have 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks. But then after this 4th week, you'll notice we go from 28 and I flip it over and there's no more spreads. And now we have to go into our February side to get the rest of our January. Again, this was something I was like, why? Like, what determines that? Because now if we look in our February spread, we would say like, oh, there's going to be 4 weeks in here too. But that's not the case because we have 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and 5 weeks, and now we're getting some of March in our spread. And now I'm like, okay, so that gets really confusing when you're dating an undated planner. So how do you actually figure that out? Well, I looked it up, and you guys, I was like mind blown because I don't think I've ever like actually looked into the why. I was just like, okay, but a month is categorized as 4 weeks, 7 days, which is 28 days. So if your month spread, if the month that you are on doesn't get a 28 to it, so up to 28, you have to have up to 28. So if we look back at January, we have our week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, we're at our 4 weeks, we're at the 28 days that a month is categorized as in it has 4 weeks. Okay, are you staying with me a little bit? So after that 28, this planner is like, okay, I completed my month, what a month is. We're at that 28. So I'm going to put the rest of my days over in February. So now we have the last 3 days of January over here, and this is causing an extra week in our February. Because now, if you look, we have February, and if we still want it to have the 4 weeks. That would be nice, right? But we have a partial week. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. But what's wrong with the numbers up here? We're not to 28 yet. Therefore, we have not completed an actual full month in this planner, hence why we get an extra week. I figured it out, you guys. I was like so excited when I figured it out. So now we have 26, 27, 28. Obviously, that's not where February ends. It ends on the 29th this year because it's a leap year. But then we go into 1, 2, and 3 of March. So now that's why we have to always have a 28, because now look at this. If we go into our March, so again, remember, we have 3 days of our March over here. If I go into here, we have week 1, week 2, week 3, and finishing out week 4, because we were able to finish out with 4 weeks and have 28 days in here, at least up to 28 days. So now there's no extra spreads in here. So we had 4 weeks worth. Right? 4 weeks worth of spreads in this one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we go into April. April is starting with the 1st, which I absolutely love. Makes my life easy. So April starts with the 1st. We have week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And again, we're finishing strong with our 28, so we don't need to have another week in here. And then the rest of April is going to be in our May. Okay, then we have week 1, week 2. I think this one is going to be a 5 week. week 3, week 4, right? That's where we would technically want it to end, but because it didn't go to the 28th, we got an extra week in this month, so that way we could finish out May in here, and then we start into June. So this one has 5 weeks. So I kind of had to try to go in and figure this out because I was getting so confused on how to explain this. And I really hope this makes sense for when you're trying to date an undated planner. Basically, if you're dating an undated planner and you can't get to 28 in 4 weeks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can't get to the number 28, obviously you can't change the numbers, but if it doesn't work out to where the days and then the numbers don't match up to 28, then that's when you need to add an extra week into your undated, which your undated planner already has that extra week, which I think is what can kind of make it confusing on how to use your undated planner, because that does mean you have to remove a week for those months that do not need that extra week in there. So this is just an undated planner I've been using last year. I'm almost finished with it, so I'm just going to go to a month that I haven't touched yet. But so here's my month at a glance. Obviously it's not dated yet, but we're going to have to remove a week because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 full weeks, and it's the same throughout your entire undated planner. You get 5 full weeks in each one, but like we just found out, we don't need 5 full weeks. So you want to make sure, so you do have to remove 1 page. So you want to make sure that you aren't removing the first page, because if I remove the first page, I take out my month page, and I don't want that. And we don't want to take out our last page, because then I will take out this page. Because in your mind, you're like, oh, I'll just take out the last one. Don't do that, because then you won't have this page anymore. So we want to take out a random page that's just in the middle. So I'm just going to take the second to last page, because why not? Take that one out. And now I have my 4 weeks. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So say again, if this was January, this would be 1 through 7, 8 through 14, 15 through 21, and 22 through 28. So that's how, and then it ends on that 28, and then I would go into my next month, and then I would continue on with 29, 30, 31, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you would just go on. Now, before you even date an undated planner, I highly suggest having months like open, because I don't always remember what months. I mean, I know most of them stay the same, but I know I always don't remember what months have 31, what months only go to 20, like 30, like I don't remember those things. So it is helpful to have a year at a glance with you. If you have maybe a planner that you use in 2023, you should be able to pull this sheet out and be able to look at it. You can use your calendar, you can use your phone calendar, your computer calendar, whatever it is. Just try not to go into a cold turkey, because you want to make sure when you're dating your undated planner that you're doing it the correct way. So hopefully this kind of helps you out with figuring out, you know, do I need to remove pages? How many pages do I need to remove? All that good stuff. Now, what you do with these is totally up to you. I would just kind of put them at the back of the planner and then save them up, because I feel like these would be really good for maybe you have a week where you decorated a spread and you absolutely hated it, or something happened to it, or you want to just do a spread for fun, like a practice spread. These are great to just set aside, like you'll build a couple up throughout the year, but they're great to just set aside, and then you can have, you know, some extra planner pages for whatever you might need them for. So hopefully this kind of helps if you're going into dating an undated planner. Like I said, I had somebody ask this on Instagram, and I tried to explain it with typing, but I don't know how well it worked. So I was like, I'm just going to do a video of explaining it. And once I figured out like the 28 days rule, my mind was blown, because I was staring at my planner trying to figure out how the heck they determine, like, all of a sudden the next month is going to get a little bit of the previous month, or the previous month got a little bit of the next month. And I was getting so confused. But now that I know it's 28, like as long as it hits the 28 within that month, it's going to get that extra. If it doesn't, it's going to get that extra week. But if it does hit it with the 4 weeks, then the rest of the month is going to be in the following month. So I hope that makes sense. I tried to explain it. But anyway, so that's how you go about prepping for dating an undated planner. And then obviously stickers that you can use. Date It Neutral just came out, but this one's fun because it just has, you know, it has your number stickers that you can use for the top. It has some teeny tiny stickers that you can use for your month, which obviously if I pull out a month where you can actually see, you know, because you're going to have completely blank. And again, this is where having this, I feel like, would help a lot. That's 2025. This is where that would help a lot. So, you know, like this is Monday, and if you need to go in, you can write above it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, you can write those because I know sometimes looking at it, my brain's not automatically like, oh, that's Monday. But then you can just plug in all your numbers, and it just like helps to make it super easy. So hopefully this kind of helps you if you're getting ready or trying to figure out how to date your undated planner. So it's the 28 rule. 28 rule. I got it now. It makes so much more sense to me. I'm so glad that I did this because I honestly did not know that. But 28 days. So again, January hit 28, so it didn't give us our extra week, and then the rest fit in there. But then February didn't hit 28 within the 4 weeks, so then we got an extra week in there. So I just thought it was like such an interesting thing because I honestly never knew. But hopefully this helps anybody that is dating an undated planner just have a better idea of when you need to keep that 5th week in there or when you need to pull it out. So hopefully this helps. But there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye!